1-2 is a very effective combination. It's effective because it's pretty simple. You throw your jab, followed by your cross, or your rear hand. And as the 1-2 becomes more fluid, as the 1-2 becomes more easy for you to execute in the ring, what do you do to spice it up? What do you do to make it just a little bit more effective? And so I want to take you on a trip back to when I was a little kid and my dad started teaching me how to box. The 1-2 was the first combination I really learned. It was the first combination that I really learned from my father and drilled every single day. And it became my favorite combination. But after a while, we realized that although the 1-2 was very effective, we needed to do something else to make it just a little bit more effective. And what we started doing is we started to add a third straight punch, what my father called or coined the 1-2-3. And most people, when they think of 1-2-3, they think of a 1-2 followed by a hook. Well, my terminology of boxing and how I describe certain things is a lot different than other people, and the reason is because my father, he came from Poland. So when he came here and he started teaching us how to box, we learned everything in Polish. And then when we started going to gyms and we started going to boxing shows and tournaments, we started to pick up and use different terminology. So we kind of had our own terminology of describing combinations and describing punches that was kind of unique to my brother, my father, and I. And so we called this combination the 1-2-3. And what it simply is the 1-2, when you think about it, is you want to put as much force as you can behind your rear hand. And what happens if you're not able to land with that rear hand when you throw the 1-2? So the standard 1-2 is you're keeping your hands up, you're going to step with that jab, you're going to shoot that left hand, and then you're going to come back, or you're going to pivot out the way. You're going to do something to bring that punch back, or maybe you're going to take a couple steps to your opponent. Whatever you do. So that's the simplicity of the 1-2. It was my favorite combination. But what my dad started to teach us to do is, he said, what happens when you don't lead or you don't land that left hand properly? Or maybe you do land that left hand. What do? Do you just want to step back, or do you want to continue the attack? And this is where we started to spice things up. And it's nothing complicated. It's basically, you're in your boxing stance, you're going to step with your jab, you're going to shoot that left hand, and you'll see that my foot is loaded right now, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to lunge in, jump in with that jab, close the distance. And so as you do that, or as we started to do that, we noticed that that third punch we were throwing, that right hand was landing. And the reason that was landing, because most people were only expecting a 1-2. They weren't expecting that straight right hand. They might have expected a hook coming through, but they didn't expect a lead right hand coming after a left hand. And so we started using that religiously, and it became very effective. And that's something that you can do as a southpaw fighter against your orthodox fighter to spice up the 1-2. And simply from looking at it from a side profile, you want to close the distance, you want to get closer to your opponent, you want to make your punches as effective as you can. And so what do? You're going to step with that jab, shoot that right hand, alright? Your boxing stance is narrowed a little bit, and you want to get back to your normal boxing stance. So what are you going to do? You're going to shoot and put all of your force behind that right hand. And the reason you want to put all that force behind the right hand is because you're breaking up the rhythm, and your orthodox fighter, whoever you're in the ring with right now, isn't expecting that third punch. So if you're able to land that left hand cleanly and then follow it up with another clean, stiff right hand It's a beautiful combination. It's very simple to understand and implement because all you're doing is you're starting back here, you're going 1, 2, 3. And you're putting a lot of force into that third punch. And as you put that force into your third punch, you'll notice that you can drive your opponent backwards. And the more that you can drive your opponent backwards, keep them on their heels per se, you have an advantage over whoever you're in the ring with. Because if you can control the momentum and you can push your fighter back easily, then that's how you win the battle in the ring. Not only the physical battle, but the mental battle, because you're pushing your opponent back with not 1, not 2, but 3 punches. And the third punch is most likely something they're not expecting. So think of you're throwing your jab, you're throwing your jab, throwing your jab, you go. That's it. So you're going to throw your jab, and then you're going to close it with 3 punches, 3 very quick punches. And that third punch is extremely effective. And somebody that does this pretty effectively is Manny Pacquiao. He'll throw 3 punches and he'll close the distance on you. They're not pretty, they're not something that you would want to do all the time, but guess what? That third punch is very effective when he lands it because he's closing the distance against his fighter by taking steps with his punches and then shooting in with that third punch. And as you shoot in, not lunge in, but kind of throw your body behind that third punch, it becomes very effective because you close more distance with that last punch than you do with those very first 2 punches. What are your thoughts on the 1, 2, 3? You think this is something you can implement the next time you're in the ring against your orthodox fighter? Is this something you can work on and implement to help you become a little bit better? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like or subscribe to my channel. I appreciate your time and have a fantastic day.